Welcome to No Hidden Agenda TV, sponsored by Caesars Entertainment. In June, Caesars hosted their inaugural Wellness Summit, an exclusive experience for event organizers to dive deep into all facets of wellness. We spoke to Caesars Entertainment's VP of Sales, Kelly Smith, along with meeting professionals that were in attendance about the overall takeaways from the Wellness Summit.
The Wellness Summit that we hosted in June was a resounding success. We had over 125 attendees. That was more than double what we had hoped for, and it was well received by everyone. Some of the feedback that we learned from our wellness initiative were life-changing experiences. Somatic breath work was one of the things that we ended with, and we had two people that attended who had truly life-changing experiences. And if you don't know what somatic breath work is, it's deep breath work that helps you release stress and trauma and regulate your nervous system. So for that to happen during our wellness event was a pretty impactful experience for everybody who witnessed it. In addition to that, we cultivated food that was specially curated. It was beautiful. We were able to give people the opportunity to see scenery in Las Vegas that they didn't know existed, just 45 minutes off the strip. But what was most important was making deeper connections with the attendees that you just don't have the opportunity to do under normal circumstances. We also did an amazing sound bath at the Garden of the Gods that was pretty epic. Personally, I was most proud of the fact that our company was willing to invest in wellness. And we as an organization don't often get credit for that. Being in Las Vegas, I think a lot of people have a misnomer as to what we really represent, but we're all encompassing and we take care of our employees, and we wanted to extend that care to our guests and our customers. And it was a really impactful experience. And to know that we are really making this an initiative that is company-wide, that now we believe we are the thought leader in the industry on, we are going to put our money where our mouth is and continue this throughout the course of the years to come.
It was a great event that really showcased, I think, what Caesars walks the talk on health and wellness. One of the key takeaways that I loved, one of the speakers talked about the GLAD technique, which I'd never heard of, which was sort of something that I was grateful for, that I learned, that I accomplished, and then like a moment of delight. So it was really easy. It was a tangible way to think about life, and I actually have implemented that and shared it with a lot of my teams, sort of like an icebreaker or things that we think about, because I think it's really important to take a step back and think about those things. I think we move so fast. It's really important to be sort of learning something new every day and actually taking a moment to appreciate the delights. And I think what was also important in a message is a lot of companies design events around, we hear, design around the attendee first and the whole experience. And they infuse little things like, we're going to do a yoga session in the morning, or we're going to do a 5K walk, or, there's a quiet room. Is really understanding the why behind that and not just checking a box that you did it. They learn more. Like, your attendees are going to take away more. They're going to have a better affinity to your brand because they feel good. And I think that was kind of an important thought of it. I also had never heard of somatic breathing. I learned about that and had never experienced a sound bath. I knew what that was. So, I mean, there was also just like cool, like first time experiences for me that I thought were really fun.
The reason for my attendance at the conference is, as a meeting planner, I was invited by the team at Caesars to go ahead and attend their inaugural global wellness retreat as ways to go ahead and incorporate programming and menu options into seminars that I have booked in the future. We know that wellness isn't just physical wellness, it's also spiritual and mind. And I've heard about crystal readings, I've heard about sound baths, I've heard about like somatic breathing, but I've never really had an eye-opening experience and or even considered the option of incorporating that into my life. And It honestly truly was an eye-opening experience for someone that's never incorporated this. There were two speakers that spoke to me. The first one was Seppi. She was there doing somatic breathing techniques for the group and pretty much focusing on mantras that you can say to yourself throughout the day and kind of making sure that you actually pause. You take 10 to 15 minutes for yourself during the day, whether it's in the morning or right before bed, to kind of unwind and recircle yourself. And I had kind of like an emotional breakthrough during that session because I was laying on the yoga mat on the floor and I'm reciting the mantras and I'm doing all of the breathing, and I kind of had an emotional breakdown and started crying at the end of it because it was just such a powerful thing, and I've never been through a session like that before. And again, I did not have any mental or spiritual wellness in my life prior to the conference, so that was just eye-opening. And then the other speaker that I enjoyed sitting in on the session for was with Nolan Nichols. And what I took away from his program is having a daily gratitude journal. Whether it was good or bad, it was kind of documenting the highlights of the days. And so I've started a gratitude journal of things that I'm thankful for that took place that day, and then things that I can go ahead and document that made me feel what I like to call some type of way, or upset or angry, or acknowledge the emotions that are affiliated with a specific situation. So that way, moving forward, I have an idea of how I can adapt to similar situations and then recognize how I'm feeling at that specific time. What I liked about it is going through some of these sessions and being able to then implement it into programming that we're going to be doing in the future. That way, these are techniques that some of our polygraph examiners can then go ahead and incorporate into their personal life. Something as simple as going ahead and doing the somatic breathing after a really difficult interview. Or we have police officers that are responding to certain calls where they don't want to necessarily have to go call to call to call because they don't have time to process A, how they're feeling, B, what they observed, and C, what is going to be the consequence of those calls that they're attending. So I think that being able to have the opportunity to implement some of these things and pretty much me learn the skill so I can transfer it to other individuals, I think is one of those learn by experience situations.
To learn more about Caesars Entertainment's wellness initiatives, visit caesars.com/meetings. We look forward to seeing you on No Hidden Agenda TV on August 22nd.